Alright, so here's the side view of the case. I just folded out the top backer board. I still have the V3 hooked up, sitting underneath here. But this is what we're going to do next, is we're going to add in some power for the 110 volt power in through this side over here. So we'll run our cable glands through here. We're also, eventually, we'll run 2 more power supply lines in the top side of the board for these 2 power supplies as well. But we're only worried about, as of right now, the F16v3. So that's the next step. We're going to go ahead and mark our holes, drill through, and we'll use our cabling, and we'll get in there and get her done. What we're going to do is we're going to figure out how big the hole needs to be for the cable gland. So Rob is going to hand me the drill that he took earlier because he was putting together one of my Christmas trees. Let's go ahead and add in the second one here. Now, I created kind of a situation here where I have to go in kind of at an angle, so this is going to require just a wee bit more skill, and I'm going to have to be careful. Let me make sure I've got these twisted up good so I don't have any bit of the copper ends frayed, and I believe they're all good there. So I am having to go in at an angle, but once again, I will remind you that I did give pretty good adequate spacing in between each power supply, so I hadn't considered this at first, but this is turning out to be pretty okay. The final step for today's build is going to be to insert some cable glands, and these are some pretty special cable glands for RJ45 connections. And as you can see here, we've got one of them. This is compliments of Venorsdale Lights. Thank you, Rob.
You're welcome.
Rob has donated 2 of these RJ45 cable glands. And what we're going to do is we're going to drill through the case. And because the new F16v3 has the actual physical input and output for data, where you don't need a switch any longer, we're going to permanently install one of our data cables into the unit, and then later on we'll go ahead and make a second line to install the second one for an output. Alright, so in order to connect, Rob has made a RJ6 cable for us. We're going to connect on the inside, and this is going to be our pass-through. So what this will mean is we will no longer need to run a straight cable through the inside of a case. We'll be able to just connect in through the outside of the case, and there will be the strain relief on the outside of the case. It will make it a lot easier. So we'll go ahead and bring the network, let's bring it up this side here, and we'll plug it in ETH0. And that's pretty much done with the inside there. Now the next step is to take the exterior cable, and we have this here black grommet that's inside here. We're going to take that grommet out. If I can figure that out. There we go. And we're going to place that on the cable. Actually, before we do that, let's slide this in first.
You can get those connectors from Crockett Fantasy of Lights.
We'll insert the grommet here, slide it on, and we'll just tighten it down just a little bit to keep it from becoming separated. Clip in, and then all that's left is, well, I guess I can loosen this. All that's left is to screw this right into that RJ45 cable gland connector, and now we can add the strain relief. And there we have it. We have a nice solid cable connection We're going to do one more of these, but we're not going to use the other one until later. Connections made that we need to make to begin testing with the controller. Once again, we'll continue the build as we get the new pieces and parts in for the rest of the controller. We're still waiting on the differential board that we're going to install here. We're going to also eventually add some power distribution units on this far side over here, and maybe even a couple voltage sensing units that will tell us the voltage of each of our power supplies to tell us what they're at, or maybe possibly some more advanced ones that tell us the amps that we're using or pulling. So with that, we'll just put the controller all together, and we're going to make a pilot test with everything connected up and powered on. Alright, so we're about ready to power it up, and we've got everything set up. We have the computer here, we have V3 sitting here, power supplies underneath, our cable glands, everything's done. I'm going to reach over, switch on the power, and I can see that we have an LED indicator showing up here. Shows we're booting the controller, Falcon Christmas, and it's set up. It looks like we're all dialed in, and it has a network address. I don't think you'll be able to see this because it's not even on the screen, but the address of the controller is set to as default 192.168.1.50. So let's go ahead, go into our controller over here onto the computer, and let's dial into 192. There's .80.50. And as you can see, we've already went through the steps of setting up the network settings, and we're able to successfully connect to the F16v2. So I'd say that even though this is part one for the F16v3 build, we're pretty much going to call this a close, and we're going to call this a positive test. We've got everything accomplished today that I wanted it accomplished, and it only took about 8 hours. So guys, thanks for watching. Take care. Remember to check us out at www.leechburglights.com. Keep it tuned in. And hey, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you hate the video, give me a thumbs down. I don't care. But go ahead and put a reason why you hate the video. Thanks, guys. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.